So here I am up in the tree where I'm gonna hook up the speed line to. One thing about having your speed line far back is you get more sag in the rope, but I thought I would get more height by going way up in the crotch of this taller tree that's right behind the stem that I'm going to be working on there and send the material out that way, out that direction. I got the stem anchored to 3 different trees, 3 different canopies with 3 different heavy-duty ropes. So it's held pretty good, and I'm going to just try to be as safe as possible and take it down bit by bit. Everything went good on this tree. This was about 6 years ago. People might wonder why I narrate on my videos is because I got the old GoPro Hero 3 in the plastic case, and the camera microphone just doesn't work that good. So when I'm shooting, you can't even hardly, it sounds like I'm mumbling. So if I want to put in some commentary, I just do it afterwards. I'm going to upgrade to a better camera system. I think I'm going to go DJI. I love the way their battery pack is. With that holding case for the battery pack is the charger, and it keeps them all organized. It even maintains the batteries. I like being organized like that. That's my style. Yeah, there's been tons of trees I've done that are way more gnarly than anything you've seen in any videos because I just didn't take the time to video them. When I'm doing a real serious tree, I don't want to sit there and think about a camera and all this other stuff. I'm there to get the tree job done, and I got property owners and people looking at me like, oh boy, how's this gonna go? And everybody's like real tense, and it's very intense and serious. Some of the complex trees I've gotten down, and I'm not even thinking about videotaping. And so you guys haven't even seen hardly anything. It's like, plus, when I first got this GoPro, it was such a pain in the butt. The battery was always giving out. It hardly shot for very long, and I'd miss the money shot, like I'd be falling a tree, and I did a perfect face cut, and I'm doing the back cut, and all of a sudden my battery would go dead. So you never saw the tree fall, and I'm driving in the wedges, and that happened to me numerous times. So that's why, I want to get some gear where you don't even have to think about it. You shouldn't have to think about it. You should be able to concentrate on the work you're doing. And, like if Apple made an action camera that you could mount on your head, it would blow everyone else out of the water because they'd probably make the battery so it would last like 4 hours. So you could do continuous shooting. That's what somebody needs to do. So you can do continuous shooting for like at least 2 hours nonstop. And I couldn't have gotten this tree job done without my trusty ground man, Ramiro. Best ground man. Also a tree climber. Those are the best kind of ground men. Yeah, he also knows all the knots and he's super fast.
Okay, well here I am. Back up here, day 2.
Yeah, I think this job did take us 2 days because I spent one whole day just rigging that tree and prepping it by getting other broken, hung up branches out of the way so I could move forward in a safe capacity. Here I am putting in a redirect, which is a nice thing about SRT. You can put in redirects all over the place, and actually the more redirects you put in, the more you load the entire canopy more, especially if you do it strategically. So the load is distributed over more parts of the tree, so your entire body weight isn't just focused on one part. So it actually makes it safer. I guess there is ways of redirecting in the tree where you could load one portion of it more than you would want, but I'm trying to distribute the load over more contact points. I'd just gotten into SRT, single rope technique, or static rope technique, or it's also called SRS, static rope system. In 2018, when I bought my gear to get into this, when I got the akimbo and the static rope and a bunch of other stuff, like my Hasvelox knee ascender, my CT foot ascender on the other foot, and rappelling off with the akimbo when I was new to it with SRS single rope system was kind of sketchy to me at first. I was just so used to having the doubled up rope, doubled over with the Blake's hitch. So you always feel like you got two ropes, and it's really one rope. It's just doubled over a limb or a crotch somewhere.
This bay branch crisscrossed with this oak branch, supported and created a support structure. And there was an elbow notch on this bay that caught in there really good. It's very providential this thing didn't land on this guy's house, man.
Look at how sharp this silky tsurugi is. 3 gentle swipes. I'm not even pulling that hard on the saw.
Give it tension. Okay. I had a feeling that's what was going to be the case. Not black and army green, unless you're doing some kind of dark off or something. There's another one. I know that one's going to hang up. I'm going to probably have to go down and fish that out.
I realized I was going to have to go down and clear some limbs out of the way so that my speed line could work properly and not get branches hung up. So I'm moving down here to a lower position.
Now I'm in the danger zone. If this thing goes, I'm getting crushed. If these ropes don't hold.
Well, the tree is still hung up in the other tree. Plus I have 3 anchor ropes anchoring it up in the canopy of 3 other trees. But it is real sketchy getting underneath it.
Avoid this situation, but it's totally unavoidable. Unless I had a crane. Yep, that's the plan. That's why I figured I might as well come down here. Okay, there you go.
It was a tricky situation to give and take because the same branches that the tree was hung up in that were supporting the fallen tree were also in the way of the speed line operation. So I had to take some away and then trust the ropes. I'm going way out on the end of this skinny limb out here and trying to hook up a lanyard to it so I can hook it up to the speed line and get some of this branch out of the way from the speed line zone. Quercus lobata, California Valley white oak.
Okay, tighten it up.
And I wanted to use the speed line because I'm trying to get the material out there on the front of the house where the chipper is and everything, because if I just lowered everything or tossed everything to the back of the house, there's a big tangled mess of brush down there and branches that were broken from this tree coming down, and it's also a lot of growth back in there, and I just wanted the material to be out in the front of the house where the chipper is, and where we can get process it, the mess, I'm leaned way over at a very difficult ergonomic angle for my body. That one went perfect as planned.
Tension.
Getting used to using the single rope system, the static rope technique system here, it takes a while to get used to it. I was just new at using my akimbo on this job, and advancing back up with the old Blake hitch system, using a doubled over rope, a rope where you've got it up over a crotch and you got it coming back down with a tension hitch, like a Blake's hitch or whatever you're using. It's totally different getting back up, but single rope technique like this, took me a while to figure out different methods, to get back up. I was having a difficult time here. Yeah, the single rope system, the static rope system, works great for moving vertically in the tree, like straight up. And you can move sideways in the tree with it with more practice. It's a different technique. You got to put in redirects. And I need to make a video on this new technique I just kind of found out. about where I can put a prusik loop with a either a carabiner or a pulley. I just use a climb heist wrap with one of my webbing. I always carry like a 2-foot webbing on my belt with me at all times, and you can use it like with a climb heist and have it up on your rope, up,
Let a little slack off.
up in the tree, up higher, like 10, 20 feet above you where you're working, and then feed your rope, the tail of your rope, back up through that, and you can use your akimbo kind of like a moving rope system. It's kind of hard to explain without actually showing you. I need to make a video on that. For traversing sideways in the tree and moving around the tree, I still like the moving rope system better with using a tension hitch, a friction hitch like a Blake's hitch or whatever kind of hitch you use, and or a zigzag or whatever. But I'm starting to learn how to traverse sideways in the tree with the single static rope system. It's a higher learning curve. And I'm basically here what I'm doing is I'm having to get a bunch of brush out of the way just so that I can make my speedline system work, because everything was getting caught in the brush. So once I get these lower branches cleared out of the way, I can start progressing on this tree.
One should be in the...
Yeah, you can't really use the foot ascenders when you're laterally traversing in the tree. It's only for going straight up, really. This tree job was a tangled mess. You had trees that smashed into other trees and branches that were all entangled with each other. I'm constantly moving around trying to untangle this thing and keep it secure at the same moment, trying to redirect my lines so that it's not in the
kind of smooth
zone of the speed line or in the drop zone or anything. Moving my way out here to the tip of the tree.
I need all my slings back.
I know people are still asking probably why I'm cutting such small branches. The reason why I'm trying to get that material out in front of the house, it's a real mess in the backyard, and the access is really tight. I had a good ground mount on this job. You put a lot of tension on that speed line so it popped up. That's why I cut it far out so it wouldn't pop up and hit me in the face or anything.
Keep playing with it, it should come loose. It's coming loose. Just keep rocking it. There it goes. Whoops. It's under load. Now I'm getting to the point where I'm cutting limbs off that are under a lot of load, that are holding up this top in here.
I'm getting to the point where I'm going to take the top out of this tree, the apex of the stem there, and then once I do, the whole trunk is going to be have nothing holding it up except for the rigging that I've constructed. And that's why I'm just taking a little bit out at a time, branch by branch, so I can see how the stem responds to the, unweighting, and see the movement and try to feel the response of the, tension that's there, so I can adjust accordingly, right?
I'm going to try to climb up onto the tip.
I'm getting ready to move into position so I can go further out on that tip.
To get my other kit ready, the longer slings.
I'm actually pendulumed way out on this limb, and I'm way out where the limbs are real skinny, and I'm on redirects and everything.